Hello, guys. Good morning.
Good
Good
day.
morning.
Today, Melissa is joining us from home, so that's why her sound's a bit different than ours.
Yes, I'm home officing today.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
She's not on vacation. She's
Yet.
working
Oh
at
no,
home.
you won't. You will be gone next week, but you're working, right?
Yes, on the airplane. No, I am on Monday I'll be on the airplane, but I'm gonna take my computer with me to try to do something offline. But during the week I'll be working from Brazil.
Good.
And it's 2 hours less, right?
Yeah.
I think so. I think it won't change till then, so that's it. But I'm gonna wake up there, so I'm gonna do the hours here. The usual hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just right now. It's just a 2-hour difference.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
It's doable. No heavy jet lags.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Just one thing for all. It says here on Anchor that we can record up to 30 minutes. So when the 30 minutes are up, I will say something, and then if we need more, we record the rest. Okay.
Okay.
Just for us to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Just gives us a heads up.
Yes, exactly.
Especially me, Mark's there.
Yeah, he can see.
All right.
Good. Where did we leave off last week?
We leave off, I guess, with the conclusion that you couldn't sit with us, so we were going to.
At least not as much time as I wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Which turned out to be pretty close to 0, I guess. But
Yeah.
So I tried to be more aware of the things I was doing and to check the things. I don't know if you guys want to start with that or with the numbers, because previously this year we are always starting with less week's numbers.
What makes me happiest? Probably the numbers. Let's do the numbers first.
All right. Again, good increase. Actually, this last week was better than the weeks we had in November, December in some medias, especially our website, on Twitter. Let me see what else. Instagram as well, of course. Instagram, I started off in December. Very, very good on LinkedIn as well. On average, we grew like 4% from last week, which means in the website, for example, when we look at the average, we had an increase of 12%, like medium. Sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 10%. On Twitter, 10% as well. Instagram, 11%. In LinkedIn, we got, like, with impressions, for example, to a 20% increase over the average.
Yeah.
So, really good.
Just last week.
Yes.
That's good.
I checked this, the most recent post that we had, and it had 450 impressions.
It's good, huh?
It's the best one so far. And, I was surprised because I think I posted it on, well, I don't remember. But the next day I went to see it and it only had 55 impressions. And I was like, oh, okay, so this one.
You know what I already can see even from my personal posts. I post every now and then on LinkedIn as well, like on my personal profile. And usually the first 24 hours, like I just post. If you do that usually on Facebook, on Twitter, it's kind of, you either have a good impression right away and then it fades out. On LinkedIn, I have noticed already, it takes a few hours, like at least 12 hours to start, like, so that's when I realize I can get more like likes and increase.
Okay. It's fascinating when you look at LinkedIn. It's a bit less instant than most other channels.
Exactly.
But whatever you do or post, sort of, you see a pretty stable effect for 2 days.
Exactly. The cycle is different from what we are used to from Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah. And I think the fact that we had comments on the post really helped boost the impressions.
It's comments, shares, likes. That's the network effect of those networks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And engagement was also pretty high, right? Above 10%.
No,
That-
I think today I checked and it was like 8%, something like that.
Yeah, it got to
Okay.
10% at some point, and then I guess
It dropped a bit, but it's still super high.
Yeah.
It's- And yeah, I keep on saying it because for me, sort of, what the thing is, especially with LinkedIn, it performs sort of these kind of results pretty consistently between 8 and 12% engagement, which is just insanely high.
Yeah. From what we're doing right now, yeah, that's the average of engagement. Mm-hmm.
But that's good. So everything shows good growth.
Yeah. The website, I think, the visitor parts, I'm a bit suspicious about it because since we are changing the website, sometimes we have to check a few things on the old one. So some of those can be ourselves. Like
Yeah, but it is.
But we did increase a lot on social, like when we look at the source of the traffic, and that is actually good because usually, like me and Luis, we don't go to our website through social.
No, but even if you go direct, right? It's sort of it's just such a small part of it that it has. Of course, it has a tiny impact, but it's nothing that really changed the picture we have.
Yeah. What else? Last week, we got a brand mention in a website as well. I sent them an email because they didn't link us, like didn't link our website. I sent an email asking for it. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but at least we got a new page talking about us. That's already.
But that
always
was
like a small
But
link.
that was because you sent the PR.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but that's also like part of our work here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was just a press release being picked up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
About a new partnership we have here, and the guy, the lead that came through Facebook actually signed with us, and
Yay.
that's a major win.
Whoop, whoop.
Of course, it's one, but it's the first one that we actually see through. Actually, we had that person that contacted us through our Facebook page, and they signed. And also, we had another sign that came from that ads campaign from Facebook as well that we did at the end of the year. We had a sign from that as well. So
that's good.
Yep.
Facebook is now the biggest closing social network that we have.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Good to know.
Yeah. So I guess number-wise, if I didn't forget anything, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Super nice. What surprised me the most was actually I was expecting to grow week by week, but this week grew even over December. That was already going good.
Mm-hmm.
We are Twitter as well. The follower numbers, it's pretty impressive. We are almost at 500,000.
1,000.
No, I can never say 100.
1,500.
Yeah, well, what I think the most important thing is to see that across all channels we are consistently picking up momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we needed very much, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not just growing. Yeah, it is little if you see week by week, but now, like I said, this week, if I compare it to December or November, it's already a big difference. You can see in the numbers, and that's what really makes me more optimistic. And I think.
Yeah, it's sort of it's always the momentum, not necessarily the absolute growth, right?
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
So we're on a good track there.
Yes.
Nice. What more do you have for us, Melissa?
I can say a little bit what I did last week. I kept writing those SEO sort of posts that will be just dressed as posts, but I talked to Luis and it makes much more sense to put them online when the new website is on. And the new website, by the way, was one of the things that took most of my time last week because Katarina and I would both review it, revise it, proofread everything, and that took hours and hours and hours, way more than we thought. Yeah. But it's necessary. It's looking good. What else?
When is it going live?
Probably this week. Because we already revised it, and now Luis is gonna send it over to Martin to final things.
Yeah.
And there are a few things that we're still gonna do on the fly, like especially copywriting. He's just gonna put live, and then this is easy to change.
Yeah.
Well, we also like when we looked last week, we try to look also to buttons, if everything was working or not, and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good to get it over with.
Yes, exactly. I can't wait.
Yeah.
What else?
Took a long time.
Well, those SEO posts, I took an average of 30 to 50 minutes each. I think I did 4 or 5 already. I already collect images. I did some Instagram like I used to every week. I set up a meeting with the new partner that we have here in Portugal. This meeting will be tomorrow.
What the meeting is for what?
Yeah, we have this website here. It's Tudo Sobre Commerce. Actually, here in the podcast, we interviewed Vera Maia, which is the responsible for that. So soon, you guys will be able to listen to her insights.
Yep.
And we started a partnership with them. But tomorrow I'm gonna talk to Sonia, which is responsible for the partnerships, to see how can we really work more together. Because right now we have a logo in their website. They provide us some discounts as partners for their courses and stuff. But I do feel like we have a public that is in common, which is e-commerce owners or people wanting to open a new e-commerce. So tomorrow I'm gonna talk to Sonia to see if we can gather forces. Maybe if we can add to one of those courses that they have with our knowledge in logistics, and maybe offer they could offer our integration because it's free after all. Anyway, I'm going to explore some possibilities with her today in the afternoon. I'm going to put together a presentation so I don't go so out of the blue. I want to have something structured to see how we can both push each other. See?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, and I think it makes sense also to this week. I'm gonna check some other. I always had those kind of possible partners in mind, but I do think it's something I should look a bit case to case because they are so different. And this is something I want to do this week. Set up more meetings and see how we can. Because also now we have more carriers with us. We have already more people talking about us. I think we have a new strength to go forward with those partnerships.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Good.
What else? I did the subtitles for Mark's video because that went really well, but I still only had it in English, and now we have also subtitled to Portuguese and Spanish. So this is something we can explore, and this is something I realized when I look for it on Google, for example. It ranks pretty well, the video itself on YouTube, because it's uploaded on YouTube. So this is something else that I thought it was a well-spent time, because I think we can totally take advantage of YouTube's ranking.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mark, I send you some topics so we can record more videos, and we need to talk about that this week as well. And maybe not just talk, just do it again.
Yes, we should.
Let me see. I think that's the main of. I did some interviews as well with some candidates to the data marketing position. That's pretty much it. My time.
One of them came to us via the podcast, by the way, which was super funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow if you're listening to this. Probably I already talked to you, but anyway. That's it.
Did you manage to keep sort of track of how you're chopping up your time?
I did. Monday I started off in the afternoon because usually on Monday mornings I see the numbers. I gather all the numbers. I set up the Instagram for the week, and then we have this conversation. So we had this conversation last week. That's when we decided to do it ourselves. Try to track the time. So I started in the afternoon, and on Friday was the only day I was kind of all over the place. I mainly spend my time on Friday, checking news, kind of soaking up on logistic stuff, e-commerce, or sending emails. So I couldn't do it on Friday. But I did it so most of the time, and I got an average of spending 30 to 50 minutes on the SEO posts. I did 4 or 5 of them. I spent an average 15 minutes here and there, with either I posted on Twitter this week because I saw the hashtag that I thought we could take advantage of. That took me 15 minutes to think about the post and then translate it to Spanish. Another 15 minutes, I helped Catarina to set up the name for the post, the blog post she was writing. I was checking, Luis did a new set of images for the micro contents. Those kind of things always usually take me 10 to 15 minutes. When I proofread Catarina's blog posts, usually takes me 30 minutes because it isn't so much a proofreading on English or Portuguese. It's more sometimes
structural stuff
on how we can get better. I talked to Jorn this week. I had a conversation with him. That take an hour. Mark, you and I, when we were talking on Thursday, that take pretty much an hour. And as I was trying to not chop up things too much, I was like, okay, we're talking about this. I'm going to stick to this. So this is what I realized. And the website check, that was what took me the most, 6 hours. But looking at the overall, I still feel there's a lot of time that I cannot put into paper. Just another thing, the subtitles took me about almost 2.5 hours to set it up, the Portuguese and the Spanish with the translation, everything, and already setting it up. That's it. You see, they're very 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and then big chunks like the website.
Okay, do you have an overview of that?
What do you mean by have? Yeah.
As in something that other people can see, because sort of I totally get it, and probably this is also where the problem between brackets, where the issue is. It's sort of the switching time between so many little tasks that's probably what kills a lot of time in the middle.
Yeah. I set it up on a notepad. I can turn that into something.
It's old pen and paper stuff.
No, actually, in my computer. It's in my notes. But
okay.
It's pretty much understandable just for me, but I can.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, right? All of this is stuff that somehow needs to be done, or at least a large part of it. So I literally think that if we really start to look at bundling stuff and then killing other stuff, then that's where you will find that there is so much time.
Yeah. I can set it up. Actually, tomorrow I'll be in the office and maybe we can sit together and I can show you what you think.
Yes, it's totally okay. I don't know if you have time today, but it's easier for me when I can look at it before, so I have an idea, because this probably that's a shitty thing of this. This is not simple mathematics, right? There is probably a lot of vague interpretation. Sort of see how things could bundle together and stuff like that. So if you can try to give me a bit of time ahead to look into it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try. Today I have to set up, prepare for the meeting tomorrow. But even if I stay a little, at the end of the day, I stretch a little bit and I'll do it. Yeah,
that's the thing. I don't need hours and hours to look into that, but it's sort of some time that will make tomorrow a lot more helpful, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually also need to put it on a more understandable thing because I put it on my notebook.
Then if you girls want to do me a favor, make one Excel sheet, set it up the same way so we can merge that easily.
Okay. Basically this week, since we're on this topic, like Melissa said, I spent a lot of time. Sorry, I need to write something.
Break.
I spent a lot of time revising the website. I think maybe a bit more than her, but I can see later. But I also did make an effort to try and bundle things up, like translation stuff, writing the blog post, scheduling stuff on social media, and I can already see a difference.
Sure.
Like,
Switching costs
already.
is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
It's just a horrible thing. You unless you really start paying attention, you don't realize how much time is wasted by switching between little tasks.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it's funny when you start seeing it, sort of what a scary amount of time gets lost in the middle, right?
Yeah, it's even worse than I thought. Because
and it's probably even worse than you thought, even after you've seen it.
Yeah. No, because like I see here, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. But I started counting when really like my hands were in the keyboard. See?
Yeah.
And sometimes just from one to another, that took me another 10 minutes just to set up my mind to,
Yes, exactly.
Really find the right.
Exactly. There are sort of there's all kind of research about it, but it's sort of to mentally switch tasks costs you about 20 minutes, and I think it's less for many people. But if for every 10-minute task you lose 10 minutes in front and 10 minutes afterwards, the 10-minute tasks turn out to be half an hour.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky bit of this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really scared.
No worries. We'll find a way to improve it.
Yeah, it's really scary actually because like.
Do you know what for me the really scary thing is? How easy it is to let that creep in without you realizing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the not realizing part that is scary.
And even realizing, like last week, I was really on it. Like I was realizing, but still I couldn't find
a better way to do it.
Exactly. I felt like, okay, I need this little mental break from one to another, but it's not so little, but then I feel bad about it, and then it became a monster.
Yeah, that sort of, I think sort of everyone has that, and with some things it's just unavoidable, but I think there's so much to gain literally by bundling stuff.
Yeah.
So literally, it's much easier to bundle half a day translating stuff every 2 weeks than do 10 times 10 minutes during a week.
Yes.
You probably get a lot more done by doing that for 4 straight hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I already tried to do that last week. That's why I was so scared, because I thought, imagine before.
Yeah. But it's sort of don't worry, because I think it's literally first you have to be aware of it, then you have to start breaking down existing habits, and then you have to start building new habits, and that just takes a while.
But then again, if you check, you're gonna see what I did. And now I'm seeing it. Actually, the only day I actually felt like I managed to do that better, the bundle up thing, was Tuesday. The other days when I see it, actually I did a lot of different stuff.
What happened on Tuesday?
I was mostly writing.
Yeah.
I was writing the SEO posts. I stopped it a little to do an interview and a Twitter post, but like this is the one I wrote, I think, 4 pieces.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but just do me a favor. Try to get both of your sort of schedules in the same Excel format.
Okay.
Because what I will probably try to do, and I don't know if I can still do it today, but what I'm probably gonna do them is gonna try to do sort of start labeling different kind of activities to see where we can group stuff better.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that we'll do today. So basically this week I also...
So you got both of you got sort of to the same conclusion. Holy shit, it makes a real difference just by being aware of it already.
Yeah. To be honest, it wasn't perfect for me, because as soon as I realized I was already in another topic, and I was like, oh shit, when?
Yeah, for me neither. Like Friday I have nothing.
Yeah, when did I switch, or how much time did I spend on? And of course it was like I was doing this and A, and then I thought to B, and then went back to A, and I was like, Katarina, you're not supposed to do this.
That's called focus, and the weird shit is there is no optimum for this, right? Especially in more creative kind of work, you need to have both, right? You have to have enough structure and focus to get a lot of shit done, but you also have to make sure you have enough of freedom to explore shit, and the tricky bit will be is finding a trade-off between the two.
Yeah. I think this week I will also realize that I'm very inefficient in some tasks, which will be painful to watch, I think.
Oh, you already start smiling. You just understand that this will be painful, right?
Yeah. No, because I think for example, on the blog post, I do think I spend, for example, on this one, it was not as complex as the other ones, but I do feel like at the beginning I wasn't concentrated and I wasted a lot of time, and that makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Which, is something that I really need to work on.
Well, we'll make progress with that sooner than you girls expected, and there is no perfection in this sort of stuff. Right?
Yeah, but every improvement will be more than welcome.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And so this week, other than the website revision and the scheduling of posts like I've normally done, I wrote this week's blog post, which I need to talk to Luis because it will go on the new website. So this blog post will only go up when the website is done. But I asked him, and I still didn't check his response, but I expect it this week.
Yeah, I think the website should be on fast because are there reasons why it would take a week?
No. I for the changes the structural changes that we will do, I don't think it will take that much time.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think it shouldn't. I think sort of all of this, just speed. Mm-hmm. If you really look at the website, of course, there is a part that just takes time. But just from we're almost there to getting there, it takes again 3 to 4 weeks. It's ridiculous, in my opinion, unless there are structural reasons. But I don't think it's that.
I don't know. The only thing I do know, Luis said something that after we check it, Martin had to do something. So I feel maybe there.
Yeah, well, there's always two things, right? It's sort of Martin needs to do something. A, what is it? How crucial is it? And B, when can he do it?
Yeah.
Right? Because sort of he needs to do something. Well, it depends. If he needs to do something that takes 3 weeks, then we do it without, right? And if he needs to do it and it's fast, then it should be done fast because it's over and done with, and everyone can move.
Okay, Katarina. After you see Luis' answer, let me know, and then if I have to, I'll talk to him to see those kind of things. Like if Martin is not available to do that thing that he has to do fast, is it really necessary? Can we move forward without it and do it on the way? And then I'll talk to Luis about it.
Okay. Yeah, and it's especially when you guys need Martin. Martin is no-go area. But if there is if someone just explains me, listen up, it's these two little things that Martin needs to fix, and then we can put it live, and I'll probably ask Martin to do it in between. Mm-hmm. And then it's done today. Right? Yeah. And that's sort of because it's actually that dragging kind of mechanism of looping things over sort of back and forth over days and days. That's so killing. Because it takes so much, it makes everything take so much more time than it needs to.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And
we need to start another half an hour or not?
Might as well do it now. So.
Okay, little break, back in a sec.
Okay.
And we are back.
Yes, back.
And just to finish off my week, I finally got to speak with the experts on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I finally sent the message this week, and we have already 2 interviews. Not lined up. I already sent them a day, and today I will just check the response to see what we have. But I sent the message to 12 people, and only these 2 replied. So what I will do this week is basically just look for more people to interview and send them a message. Because
reminders.
Yeah, but
also those ones that you already reached. Those that you feel like, really, I would really like them to talk to us. Just try it again. Say, hey, could you see did you have the chance to take a look at my previous message? Not to push it, just.
Mm-hmm. But we already discussed previously that it would be good to make a a big list of people, so we always have these
Mm-hmm.
interviews
Yeah.
coming, and that's what I want to do. I really want to build up a list this week so that we can get
Makes
this
sense.
going.
Yeah, that's the
and
thing. At the
going.
end of the day, you just run this like a sales process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contact several times. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Mark, and you?
yeah.
And you?
See, yeah, since we're talking about
Yeah,
our weeks.
let's share your week. I mean, you don't have to say the whole thing, but actually, I think it would be really interesting for you to share a little bit. If you
Oh
can,
yes,
you know.
no, I can share. Oh, I can share a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah, where do you want me to jump in? Okay, now let's start with what is it? With a couple of weeks ago, where sort of overnight we almost doubled the team.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yes, it was a very good one, and obviously, even before that happened, I already knew that it pretty much would destabilize the entire business. So it's literally the past weeks I'm sort of chasing my own tail in sort of stabilizing stuff again and hammering, things in their new place, because obviously sort of doubling the team requires a lot of changes in processes, changes in structure, basically changes in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mainly up to me to sort of fold that in the new reality. But it also comes with a lot of firefighting and a lot of unexpected things and things that take a lot more time than I hope to. But that's where I tend to be relatively focused. I'm relatively okay with ignoring everything else beside the only thing that needs to be done. And then I do that until it's done. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't spend any time with you guys, because it was in that sense sort of the two of you roll. And there is always a shitload of things that can be improved, but there were a lot more urgent things like getting 7 or 8 salespeople on track. So it's mainly that, and sort of with that change came sort of legal change in the company and all kind of stuff. So we have to comply with different reporting standards and sort of this kind of miserable things that just have to be done and takes sometimes a lot of time. But it's sort of I needed to get all of that done to get it out of the way, so I can really focus more on building the business instead of discussing stuff with investors and lawyers and accountants. And
but I think it's really interesting. Like I feel like listening to a podcast, like with what we are doing right now, and I realized before this talk, usually like Mark is the CEO. I think a lot of people must be really curious on how your weeks go, what you do, and it's actually pretty funny you say like this last few weeks you had to deal with so many stuff that people don't even realize comes like with the job, like.
Yeah, well, it's maybe better. No, I think you're actually right. Actually, for many people, it will be interesting, but it literally depends a bit on what we want, because that will obviously divert a bit, from the marketing weekly kind of thing. On the other end, it might be super interesting, because at the end of the day, sort of everything in the company needs to be aligned in the same direction. It doesn't matter if it's sales or product development or the IT guys or marketing. It all needs to march in the same direction, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But is there anything specific you would like to know about that?
No. I really just realized, like, usually Katarina and I, we say what we are doing, and this week I figure, it would be really interesting, especially because I know you are doing a lot of new things, running around through, a lot of sort of different directions that may not be the most fun to do, but necessary.
Yes, that's in many cases actually true.
We never ask Mark, actually. He never shares, and I think for so many people would also be interesting.
No, I can totally imagine. Sort of, it's, at the end of the day, it's just my job, and it's my job to not bother other people too much about it. Doesn't mean that it's not interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think in many cases it is. But
it was really just what you did right now, just an overview.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Brazil and stuff like that. It's also moving. There's tons of that sort of stuff.
All right.
No, but it's actually really fun. I sort of last week and the week before that for me was a lot of firefighting, as in sort of emergency band-aids and punching things. in shape, and now it seems that a lot of the urgent, chaotic part is away from it, and that I can start spending more time building stuff now. So it was, but it's pretty much what I.
But this is actually really funny, because this is something that we, like, in our marketing, we usually use kind of a similar phrase like that a lot. That what we do is actually a tool for e-commerce owners to have time to build their business, and it's funny that we experienced that a bit again. Like,
no, I think it. I think it's
other things.
I think it's absolutely amazing how little people see is that the vast majority of my time, I'm a one-trick pony. I just structure things, and it literally doesn't matter sort of in the methodology I apply. It really doesn't matter if I try to structure sales or onboarding or marketing or the entire company. It's the same little trick all over again. And that's, I think, the thing that people don't see.
So that's basically Mark's job, structuring.
Yes. Yeah, it used to be cleaning too, but not anymore. No, but it's a lot of stuff is happening, but it's good. It's moving in the right direction really fast. Let's put it like that. Yeah. And that only means that we get a new set of challenges and things that need to be fixed and improved. And well, that's a nice thing of being in my company and my job. Then I just create, if it's going too slow, I just create more nastiness for myself. So that's about it.
Yes, I think it is. Anyone wants to talk about anything else? Wants to share anything? For my part, I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't think I also have anything to add.
No, this is a short one. Probably next week is going to be a funny one when we really start, checking sort of schedules and how you can batch things together and stuff like that. Yeah. And it might lead to a longer conversation, but I think this was pretty much straightforward. And then that's actually the good thing. Sort of you guys, I had those kind of things with sales as well. Usually the better things are on track, the shorter those things get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So that's good.
Okay,
then we talk next week. Well, we talk to the rest next week.
Exactly. You record next week.
Okay, have an amazing day.
Okay,
bye.
Ciao.